Well, the interesting thing about Highlander and Highlander II, I always find, character-wise, is the romanticism about them, and the fact that they're actually normal guys. They don't have superpowers, but they have a tragedy and a tragic quality about them. The fact that they can't die, and I think a lot of times people would think that that's a great attribute, but to them it's actually a great burden, and causes a great dilemma in their character, and that's what I think attracts me and a lot of people to the stories.
We initially were very reluctant to move forward on this because we felt we had delivered a film in the original Highlander that was quite wonderful.
Between the producers and the director and myself, we didn't want to do a sequel just to do a sequel because the first one made money. So it was important that we had a good story first.
Here we go. And action. You and I have a grave responsibility. It's called power.
So we constructed a fairly elaborate story that took place in the future that dealt with an issue that we felt was important, which was the depletion of the ozone layer and the subsequent, as we saw it, the subsequent destruction of the planet from ultraviolet radiation.
Remember the day?
Good evening. Only a few months now until the ozone layer is completely gone. A team of international scientists led by Dr. Alan Neyman and supervised by Connor McLeod work around the clock. This may be the last chance for planet Earth.
And we got Connor McLeod involved in that problem and in its solution. And when the movie starts now, we see how the solution has corrupted and damaged the life of everybody on the planet.
Hey, Grandpa, you got some change for the oxygen machine?
It's a sequel because the characters do pick up 25 years later from when the first movie ended, and we had to resolve those issues. But it's also a picture that stands completely by itself. It is a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, leaves us with an opening to go forward, again, for another picture. But if you've never seen the first Highlander, you should be able to, we felt, watch this one, understand it, and enjoy it.
Okay, should we just rehearse that, please? Just the first bit.
When you shoot in Hollywood or you shoot in the United States, there's a familiarity of the locations. When you go to a country that is as diverse as Argentina and as unfilmed as Argentina, you know that you have physicality that is truly unique.
Real locales, the scene in which Christopher Lambert goes to find General Katana, Michael Ironside, in his kind of dome-like place. He walks into a building that is covered with vertical pipes. This was a real working waterworks up until a few years ago that had been constructed in 1910 in Scotland, shipped over piece by piece, and reassembled in Argentina. I mean, it's a place that we couldn't find any place else in the world. It's the only one like it.
Someone turn it off. When we found certain locations, we actually wrote scenes for the movie, because a lot of times you write a scene and you can't find the location. So we were actually traveling around the Andes up there, and we found this incredible dam, this huge, gigantic dam, which they would give us permission to turn off and on. We decided, because of practicalities of the action sequences, that we really had to build more than we'd planned to build. For example, the whole city street, the whole fight sequence in that street with the train and everything, was completely built from scratch on the wharf in Buenos Aires.
The only thing Russell insisted we have for the set was that that a real working train be able to drive down the center of it. Starting with that, we built a set that was over 3 football fields in length and 60 to 70 feet high.
It was a city. It was so big. I've never seen a set like that in my life, even in movies like, and it's not a reference, but even in movies like Batman. I mean, this set was like 5 times bigger. So it was unbelievable.
I think that's quite good, don't you? That's one of my guys, my assassins. Set him to get rid of Christopher.
When the two assassins come to kill Christopher, they have the ability to fly, and they can just sort of magically fly around. And in order to do that, we brought in the team that created Superman.
When you watch the fight in that street with the skateboards, there's actually no blue screen and actually no special effects. The whole sequence is basically done with wires. The guys are in various harnesses and wires, and what we did is we built the street and we crisscrossed the whole street with a series of like 8 different wire tracks. So by hanging them on a different track and hanging this guy on this track, they could cross each other, and then you hang this guy on this track, and basically, and it's a very simple process. There was 20 guys behind the set with a rope running, pulling this guy along at very high speed. And there was one sequence where the rope and the pulley got pulled and got caught and snagged, and Christoph's been tugged. And the camera truck's dollying along with Christoph, and Christoph all of a sudden just stops and flips around like this. It was one of the most horrific scenes I ever saw. I mean, but he was fine, but
Christopher wants to do everything. He wants to do his own stunts, and that was particularly a problem when we were shooting this elevator scene in the Waterworks building. That was an actual location, and when you see the footage, you cannot believe that it is him there, but it is. That's a physical shot. It's not done in post. It's all Christopher.
He was not doubled. Everything that you saw was him doing it.
At one point, he was cut right through his gloves and his safety gloves, and right to the bone.
he did most of the work. He did most of the fight sequences up to the point where he actually cut his hand one night so badly. They wanted to rush him up to hospital for like 12 stitches or whatever, but he wanted to carry on shooting up to lunchtime so we wouldn't lose any time. And I have great respect for Christoph.
Not bad.
Michael jumped up to the plate and did it too, and to the point where he actually dislodged his jaw during the dome fight. And I saw the most extraordinary thing. He dislodged his jaw, his whole face was skewed to one side, and he basically just got Christoph to hit him with his fist in his jaw to click his jaw back in, and the noise was the most extraordinary thing.
Oh no. Not again.
The makeup, because it was so hot and strenuous, the face kept falling like down over his eyes. So some scenes in the film, he's actually blind as a bat.
Christoph did the scenes where he was fighting in the streets in the old age makeup. Problems did occur with that makeup because he's wearing this huge jacket, and he does all his own stunts and just running and jumping, and he was sweating a lot.
Mr. McLeod?
Yes.
I'm Louise Marcus.
Christopher's the kind of person you dream of working with because not only does he become your friend, he's supportive and he's protective, but he's excited about his work.
Yeah.
He's not spoiled. He's not, he doesn't have a terrible temper. He's not selfish as an actor.
Who are you?
I'm Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod.
We went into Argentina with, as in any romance, marriage, what have you, everything is quite wonderful at the outset. But we found as we got further and further into the production that while the people there were wonderful, the ability to handle a show of this scale and this size was really quite beyond their grasp.
At a certain point, as you're starting to go over budget, the insurance company, who is guaranteeing the completion of the film, takes more of an interest in you than they might have had when you were not going over budget. And at one point, they stepped in and they took the picture away from the producers. And at the end of the day, the producers and the director did not have final cut and did not get to make the picture that we all started out to.
The end result was that you had a film from a storytelling point of view that was totally inconsistent with the original vision of the director, that it made absolutely no sense, and was, for the Highlander fans, and they looked at this original version, they threw up their hands. They were ready to lynch Bill and Peter. And we shared their disillusionment. All the flack that we had gotten from the original Highlander II version, the Quickening, just spurred us to, at a certain point, say, we will deliver a picture that's consistent with the original vision of Highlander II, and it'll be a certain type of redemption.
Outstanding!
This version, the Renegade version, really gave myself and the producers an opportunity to, I guess, more closely realize the vision of what the film was meant to be. It's been remastered, remixed, recolorized, new scenes have been added, and I just think this film gels a lot better and it's just closer to the original vision.
There can be only one.
What you will find in Highlander II, the Renegade version, is 16 minutes of added footage that totally rounds the story.
The punishment for rebellion is death. Judge them guilty, and I'll execute them here.
There were things we had to change. We had to change in, for example, the scene where the judges are sentencing Ramirez and Connor for their crimes. In the Quickening version of the film, when they had come from another planet, they were being banished from a planet to another planet. What we did is, in order to integrate Highlander 2 into the Highlander legend, they are now come from Earth in the past. And the technology that existed in the past enabled them to go forward in time on Earth. So the dialogue for the judges was completely rewritten in the scene, as was a section of the scene in the judges' chambers where General Katana and the judges can see in the future on a holograph kind of TV screen that was created especially for this version of the film.
I guess if you want something done, you have to do it yourself.
The lovemaking scene, or what I call the bang against the wall, is a scene that really wasn't in the first version. Why was it cut out? I have no idea. But you know, it's a hot scene. In the first version, it's very unclear because about his relationship with his wife, because basically the camera just pans down her name very quickly. You have no idea who is at the, whose grave it is he's at in the cemetery. And it's a big mistake, and so we corrected that in the second version.
We also felt that by not making the personal connection with his wife, which is the reason that he got involved in building the shield in the first place, was that her dying wish was that he protect the planet and save all these people from the horrible death that she was having.
Hold my hand. Promise me, Connor.
Anything.
Promise me you'll do something to stop this.
So that scene never existed before. We took the scene where she's dying, she makes him promise to fix things, and we have what we think of as the Gone with the Wind shot as we pull back. And we pull back and we reveal 560 beds, I think we had in the scene, that there are a lot of people sick and dying, and that something needs to be done about this. There is a scene where where Christoph and Virginia are headed for a specific location to go through the shield and see whether or not the ozone layer is repaired or not. This was, we refer to this as the mountain chase. The mountain chase was partially shot in Argentina, and we were supposed to finish shooting it in California, but that never happened. This time, we went out and shot the last part of the chase and the very end of the chase, so it now was a scene that we could use, and it's a very dramatic and exciting scene that never existed in any version of Highlander II.
Whatever happens, don't stop. What?
In the new version, we actually now see him step into the beam. We see through his power, through the quickening, basically. The power of the force shoot up to the satellite, destroy the shield, and we see the Earth restore itself. We see the sky come back. We see the stars. We see the blue sky. We see life returning to normal. And it's a very positive end now. As before, in the old one, it used to be quite lame and undramatic. And now it makes a statement.
In Hollywood, you almost never get a chance to fix something that went wrong. And we have been lucky enough to have that chance.
This is one of those rare opportunities where we had an opportunity to basically go back, get the footage out, restore neg of scenes that were cut out, and put the film back to the way it should be.
So, Russell, long time, a lot of work. How does it feel?
Really good.